Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. So glad you could attend. Come inside, my movie maniacs, as we take a look at a film that's aptly named #horror. Tara Subkoff giving us the story of a group of 12-year-olds who are, most of them are from rich, high-class, high-powered families and get together for an overnight at one of the girls' house. But things start going awry, especially after a vicious cyberbullying session, and soon, one by one, they start getting picked off. And we see how their #slumber party turns into #horror, and we try to find out if they emoji escape, or okay, I'm not sure how many other references I can put in here. #horror. I really enjoyed this film for a lot of reasons. One, we have a lot of films out there, horror films, that are trying to be like the past, and in this one, Tara Subkoff is definitely made a horror film for the lack of a better term, millennials, for the younger age, for those who have grown up with mobile devices, and she takes on head-on the subject of cyberbullying. Bullying is a central core theme in this film, and I think she explores that very well in a very, these little girls are horrific. I will say that what they do to each other and the things they say to each other are more horrific in a lot of ways than the brutal deaths that we see in this film. These girls they're damaged, and you can see how they're plugged into their devices. They do a great way of how everybody's attached to their devices and immediately start texting one another, and they do these really cool bubbles so you can see what that, but not only that, but they're adults as well. The parents are pretty screwed up. So you can understand why the kids are like this, because the parents aren't much better psychologically, and they're attached to their devices. And so I loved how they showed the scary aspect, the very sad aspect of how people are addicted to their devices and rather interact with that than with each other. Now, there is a great moment in this film where the girls decide not to use their devices, and I loved that. I love that because when you first meet these girls, you're going to not like them at all. Nearly any of them, even the girl who is from a lower class background, who's at the school because of a scholarship, and so she wants to really impress and be with the in crowd of these girls who have richer families. But even her character, you just don't quite like any of them. But then when you get to know them after they decide to disconnect, I love that scene. It's probably some of my favorite moments in this film, was where they were actually interacting with each other, and we see the difference in their characters. So great direction there. Now, the adults in here, Chloe Sevigny and Timothy Hutton, both make fantastic use of the screen time they have, especially Timothy Hutton. He's a scary guy, and I really loved the emotion that he brought to his character. And these girls, all of them, are up-and-coming actresses, and they all do very well in the roles they're in for this film. I'm surprised this film really hadn't hit the wide-release theaters a lot sooner, because I think it's that caliber of a film. Plus, it's a topical film. Now, in between all these scenes, we get some special effects. We get this vision of a mobile app type screen that is kind of disturbing, and it gives us little hints of the future, much like a few of the scenes in the beginning are kind of out of order in the timeline as well, which I think will keep your interest and make you see where those things fit in the timeline, and also see how that app actually turns a little darker as the movie goes along. Folks, #horror is very topical, which is great for horror films. I love when they do that. It is entertaining, and I think it should be seen by everyone between the ages of 18 and 30. It really gives you some light and shines some scary things, brings some scary things into the light, and I give hats off to Tara Subkoff for making a very interesting horror film that isn't trying to be a retro horror film. It's trying to be its own, and it succeeds by leaps and bounds. So check out #horror. If you have seen #horror, please leave your comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. I appreciate everyone's support. We're getting closer to 1,000 all the time, and it's because of you guys I do this. Thank you so much, and as always, keep that ticket stub.